first time I got high, I was 15. So the first time I got high, I smoked weed and I was taking Xanax. I sniffed my first bag of dope at 16. My younger sister was already on heroin, and I was spending a lot of money on pills. And she told me to try this, that it would be so much cheaper and it would be more worth it. So I sniffed a little bit of dope and I loved it instantly, and instantly became addicted to it. I got up to doing 25 bags a day. And that was just to be normal. That wasn't even to get high. I have 4.5 years clean. I lost my kids because I let their father beat on me, and I allowed it to happen because he was paying for my drugs, and it was okay that it happened because I wasn't going to be able to get the money anywhere else. So I let them see that, and so I could pay for my drugs, and I picked the drugs over my kids. The day I signed my rights over, I came to Camden. I'm homeless.
Hey, Michael DeLeon on the road to recovery, and I want to share something in this story that really is compelling to me. You know, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, but one of the most rewarding things, was walking around the streets of Camden, New Jersey for 10 months and filming a movie called Kids Are Dying. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, but also one of the most rewarding. But in this movie, I've met a lot of people, and since have seen them pass, seen them lose their lives to addiction. But I've seen a few of these kids, turn their entire life around. And one of those people was a woman featured in this movie, Kat Keenan. And this woman, this young girl, is turning her entire life around, and now she's in school to become a counselor and really help a lot of other people turn their life around. And with her experiences, she's able to share her hope with other people, and I'm so grateful and so honored to be able to share the recovery story of a girl who I met at her bottom in Camden, New Jersey. This is Kat Keenan.
Addiction has ran in my family, and I was always exposed to it, and it was kind of pretty the norm. My dad is an alcoholic. Most of his family are alcoholics and drug addicts, and I would go see him on the weekends and their family, and I started smoking marijuana at about 11. I would skip school a lot. My mom wasn't home a lot, so my house was like the party house, and we would drink. Then people started bringing over more drugs, and I would try them. I did a lot of party drugs, club drugs at first, going to a lot of clubs in Philadelphia, about 15, 16 years old, but it progressed pretty fast. Started smoking crack at 18, doing heroin at 22, and I still tried to maintain a normal as possible life with working. I had kids at this time. Everything started slipping. I was starting just to work, just to buy heroin, and then I lost my kids. I got clean for a while after losing my kids, but I was only getting clean for the kids. I told myself in my head that once I got the kids back, at some point I would use again. And I didn't put anything into recovery that I needed to. It was only just to get out of the rehab. And as soon as I got the kids back and was about to graduate everything and close the case on the courts, I slipped up and started using again and lost them just as fast. So when I lost them permanently, I kind of didn't care anymore. I came out to Camden and lived in Camden. I was homeless. I was doing drugs every day. For about 10 years, I was out there.
They say Camden is the city that hope forgot. They didn't always say that. Walt Whitman was from here, and his words are on City Hall. In a dream, I saw a city invincible. Sadly, most people see something else. Per capita, it's the highest crime rate in the country, the highest murder rate in the country, in the poorest city in the country.
I only left to go to jail, and when I came right back out there. And it was sad because I started to love it and hate it at the same time. I thought that this is what life was, and I wasn't good enough for anything else. I lost everything. I wasn't going to get it back, and I just made do with what I had. It wasn't until I got sick with the infection in my leg and they told me that I was going to die that I took it serious. I said, well, I wanted to walk again. So I said, well, at least I'll get sober just to walk. And I started getting better. 3 years into it, recovery started growing on me. I started going to meetings. I started finding out what recovery was. And I had a counselor that really touched my heart, because I understand about the higher power, but nothing really sunk into my head until he said about good orderly direction. As long as I keep doing going in a good orderly direction with my life, then I won't go backwards. And things started to happen in positive ways. A lot of programs in Camden I surrounded myself with, and I got housing. I got Social Security for a while until I got my leg fixed. I went back to school. I'm in school now, and I'm trying to give back what I've gotten so freely. I know that if I could do it, anybody could do it. And I want to change the stigma of addiction. I don't want it to be a silent thing anymore. I want people to talk about it with their kids. Because if you know why you're using, then maybe we could fix why they're using and, not use in the first place. I had to find out why I was using. It was because I felt that I wasn't complete. I felt that I wasn't good enough, and that why bother, trying, until I realized that I was good enough and that, I can make a difference in this world. Recovery is amazing. I'm happy every day. I have no desire to use whatsoever. It actually makes me sick to my stomach to think about using and going back to where I was. I don't have to worry about hiding clothes in abandos, hoping that they'll still be there, or worried about where I'm going to take my next shower at or have my next meal. And it's an amazing feeling. I connected with my family again. They love me, they full support me, and they're there for me. I can depend on them. Even if I just help one person, it'll be all worth it. Just like someone helped me. You can have a life without using, and it's beautiful.
Hey, Kat, thank you so much for turning your life around and sharing your hope with us, sharing your story of recovery. I appreciate knowing you, seeing you at your worst, seeing you now at your best, seeing you become the counselor, the woman, the amazing mom, the amazing woman that God destined you to become. And I know you're going to do great things, and I'm so proud and so appreciative to be able to share your story of hope and recovery. On the road to recovery, I'm Michael De Leon. We'll see you on the next episode.